Oh, that didn't look good. On the 8th day, we see the lines. The lines of death. The lines of death everywhere. At that time, the mansion was a big playground. A forest like a deep sea. A house like a tall castle. We played around in a garden that would have taken days to explore. Every day was fun. I didn't even know I was going to grow up. I hadn't even wondered if morning and night would repeat themselves in the same way. It was a childhood of frolicking like a puppy. We had a great rapport and were great playmates. Whenever I turn around, Akiha is always there. And that other person too. When I wave my hand, she gets embarrassed and hides. Yeah, that's the way it's always been. At that time, the mansion was a big playground. A forest like a deep sea. A house like a tall castle. We played around in a closed world that would take days to explore. That was until the tragedy. I slowly awaken. The morning light peeled away the sleep that had been sticking to me. In it, I felt like I was having a nostalgic dream. As soon as I woke up, a disgusting thing came into my sight. Pretty much just like every morning. A sharp headache that gouged the flesh and bone of my temples. It was so clear this morning. It was as if the sun had fallen into my garden. I don't know if that's some kind of an expression, like, what's that supposed to mean? The strong sunlight was staining the room all around. My glasses. I strained my arm to reach for the glasses on my bedside table, but the response was tepid. No feeling in the limbs. I can't send commands properly. This thought seemed to be the only part of my body that was working properly. I couldn't even close my eyelids and just ate up the time. The strong light softened. Remind yourself to feel your limbs. Taking a deep breath, I finally put my glasses on. I exhaled and finally lifted myself out of bed. What a surprise. The symptoms I'm experiencing now were common when I was in the hospital. Temporary loss of vision and numbness in the limbs due to exhaustion. In addition, there is a loss of appetite. If you look at things with your naked eyes too much, this is bound to happen. But that was... I felt like I could see more clearly than before. The lines of the building were hard to see. Even if you could see them, they were thin and rarely as clear as they are now. The lingering headache in my temples was like a gunshot wound. I wonder if he can see them more clearly now because he was using his eyes more to search for the dead with Arcueid last night. The doctor said, I thought my eyes might call up something bad. Arcueid told me not to use my eyes too much. It's an act that destroys the brain in Shikitono. This is the price of being human and being involved with vampires. Instead of taking risks when confronting vampires, I will always take risks. That's contradictory, isn't it? I don't need to check now. With that in mind, I wanted to help Arcueid. I know, right? It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal that I'm killing myself slowly by using these eyes too much. In general, pretending that you don't see it doesn't change the fact that you are in the middle of it. Wipe out the vampires from the city. For the safety of Akiha and those close to her, she has no choice but to lend a hand to Arcueid. Yeah, but I don't think Akiha wants to lend a hand to Arcueid. I think Akiha doesn't really like Arcueid. Good. I changed my mind and got up from the bed with vigor. I quickly got dressed and thanked Hisui for last night. Huh? Oh, by the way, there was no sign of Hisui. It was a little past 7 in the morning. This is the time when Hisui is usually waiting for me and calling me to wake up. I guess you overslept, Hisui. For all that, there was a change of uniform neatly prepared on the desk. Maybe she had some other work to do. I'm curious about it, but it's not my business. I don't have much time this morning, so I'll quickly change into my uniform and go downstairs. Oh. Oh my god. No, she's here. The moment I opened the door, the memory of last night came back to me like a flash of light. For a second, I thought Arcueid was here already. It's amazing. I'm really proud of myself. I really want to know what my mental structure is like to be able to forget such a horrible event. I left the door open and didn't take a step inside, frozen in place like a stone statue. Meanwhile, in the living room, Akiha was sitting on the sofa, as if she had been grilled last night. Behind Akiha, Kohaku was waiting. Normally, no matter how much it stings. Good morning, brother. This morning, however, Akiha didn't even look at me. Needless to say, this is the result of the abdication of accountability regarding last night's Arcueid. She may look graceful and relaxed, but the pressure oozing from Akiha is not hampered. The living room was dominated by a striking tension. Good morning, Shiki-san. Would you like some tea before breakfast? Well, that doesn't seem to be the only thing that matters to her either. Oh, good morning, Kohaku. I'll see you for tea when things settle down. I returned Kohaku's greeting and entered the living room. As I walked along with my footsteps creeping, Akiha stared at me with streaming eyes. I won't let the silent pressure get the better of me. It's at times like this that the true value of human power is tested. Yeah, that's true. Oh no. Just say hello cheerfully, say hello slowly, just say sorry. That's a tough one, actually. Should we just say hello? I feel like we should just say hello, but I also feel like that won't be good. Well, apparently that's the right thing to do. At any rate, we must first change this tense atmosphere. I'm afraid I'm going to lose at my usual rate, so I'm going to take a different approach here. Good morning. Nice morning, Akiha. Did he just say good morning in English? I greeted her frankly, adding a lighthearted laugh. I guess she's not buying it. Nothing has changed. Akiha's gaze seemed to tighten even more. It's hard. If I stay here any longer under Akiha's silent pressure, I will definitely get a pit in my stomach. Then Grandpa will go to the dining room for breakfast. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not inaccurate because he said OG-san, so I guess he's calling himself a grandpa. I casually began to retreat from the living room, however. Brother. The crisp voice of Akiha stopped me in my tracks. We need to talk before we eat, of course. Please, have a seat on the couch. It was an irresistible word. What, the couch? Have a seat? Have a seat right over there. The words deserved and stupid brother should die were running through my head. That's probably what she's thinking. It seems we have no choice but to give up and fight here. Okay, make this as quick as you can. I sat down on the sofa across from Akiha. Kohaku quickly prepared a teacup for me. It's like she's saying good luck, and it gives me a little bit of courage. Yes, my sister, even though she is the head of the family. The game would not be so one-sided. I took a sip of my tea and made eye contact with Akiha. So, what's the story? Did you have intercourse with the woman from last night? Oh my god. That's probably the most straightforward way to ask that kind of a question. Jesus Christ. He should be like, well, not yet I didn't. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It makes me choke. Akiha's direct pitch from the very beginning is too much to wait for. I almost choked to death on my tea. Brother, are you listening to me? I'm listening. I hear you. Then answer me this. Be as precise as you can about the woman last night, without lying, and in as so much detail as you can without ever offending me. That's gonna be really fucking difficult. In as much detail as you can without offending her, okay. Under those conditions, I can't say anything. Yeah, exactly. That is not good enough, brother. I warned you not to upset me, didn't I? Man, even that upsets her? Jeez. That wasn't a condition, it was advice. No, I'm starting to smell an impossible task. What is it? Your voice is too low for me to hear. Please speak more clearly. What kind of person is that woman to you, brother? Why do you care so much? It's almost like you're jealous. What do you mean? Like a partnership or a friend? It's more like... You're such a friend that you go out in the middle of the night, aren't you? Yes, I don't have any opinions on who brother may have a relationship with in the future, but he's still a student, right? Seems like you do have some opinions, though. Shouldn't the eldest son of the Tono family be ashamed of his shamelessness, meeting with a woman he doesn't know from anywhere at night? You know, the look on her face tells me a lot. Much more than her words do. Someone's jealous. Someone is jealous. I see. So that's how Akiha sees me in Arcueid. Wait, Akiha. First of all, let me tell you that she and I don't have that kind of relationship. I'm just helping her find what she's looking for, and once she's done, we'll never see each other again. She seemed quite friendly for that. But you say it was just my imagination, brother. You're telling me that you're only in a temporary profit and loss relationship with her. Akiha's gaze was cold. If I nodded my head and said, "You're right," the conversation would come full circle. But I had a strange resistance to say so here. We cooperate with each other because there are mutual benefits, but if you ask me if that's all, I would argue that it's not that simple. It's not that I'm close to that, but it's like I'm helping out just for profit or loss. I'm sure. She was in a panic like I've never seen before. I was wondering what kind of wind was blowing that, my brother, who never takes anything seriously, would reveal his emotions. I'm not that upset, and I'm not heartless. I just wasn't expecting her to come to my house, so I was surprised. I see. That woman seemed calm and waited for you for a long time, though. She had a look in her eyes as if she wanted to say something. Akiha seems to be convinced that Arcueid and I are dating. You know, Akiha, you can stop being so wrong. Damn. I'm gonna use that as an insult next time. You know, you can stop being so wrong. That's how she and I got to know each other in the first place. I was about to say that it was because I had killed her, but I covered my mouth. Okay, why would you say that? That's gonna lead to even more misunderstandings. There's no way she'll believe me if I tell her the truth, and I can't let Akiha know about something like that in the first place. But I couldn't think of any other good explanation, so I had no choice but to mumble the same words as last night. If you can't answer, I'll change the question. Brother has been repeating this and that since a while ago. What is that woman's name? Her name is Arcueid, but... I see. So it wasn't at school that you made your acquaintance, was it? There are no foreign students in your high school. Ugh. Akiha is right. There are no foreign students in our high school. We don't have any. Why does Akiha even know that? I've done extensive research, brother. So, how did you meet such a person? Well, we met on the street, you know, by accident. Well, that is kind of a half-truth. By chance? Then Arcueid-san approached you. Oh, no, I'm the one who approached her. In fact, I didn't call out to her, I killed her, and then she came after me. Anyway, I was the one who triggered it. Why did you call out to her? Even though brother has nothing to do with Arcueid, or was that your intention at first? Akiha's question is very pertinent. One step at a time, it approaches our vital point. This is like a frog being stared at by a snake, and you will soon be forced to the point where you can't cover it up. I feel bad, but I don't have a choice. I should be forced to finish my story here. Oh my god, I have nothing to do with that girl anyway. It's none of Akiha's business what I do. I'm only a token eldest son anyway, so whoever I go out with shouldn't cause any trouble for the Tono family. Well, I mean, there are a lot of wealthy families that are like, you know, oh, you shouldn't date that person, it'll reflect badly on us, you know? So, I mean, Shiki's kind of wrong in that regard because they're, like, a lot of wealthy, well-to-do, you know, families will discourage people from dating certain people. They'll say, like, oh, it's going to look bad. It's going to make us look bad. So, I mean, it is stupid, but it does at least matter to them. It's just an image thing. I know it's not fair to bring up the fact that I'm the eldest son who was disowned, but I have to do this or else Akiha will not back down. Akiha furrowed her brow and stood up soundlessly. Funny. I thought she was going to cut me off ruthlessly, but Akiha, on the contrary, awkwardly averted her gaze. I don't want to say this either. I just don't like that girl. I'm not sure what to do, but if you allow yourself to be distracted by her, it makes me feel like a fool. Why? Akiha bit her lip in frustration and said something like that. What's wrong, Akiha? What's the matter? What's the matter? Something wrong, dude? He should just say that. I really wish that was actually the proper translation. He's just say, hey bro, something the matter, bro? That's enough. You are free to do as you please, brother. She showed her true feelings for a second there. Akiha walked out of the living room, her steps uncharacteristically rough. Oh my god, Shiki-san, what you just said is terrible. I feel sorry for Akiha. If you're going to bring up your girlfriend, please bring a more normal person with you. Wow. Yeah, it's because she's so abnormal that Akiha's upset. I'm sure that would have convinced Akiha. With a sigh, Kohaku followed after Akiha. Well, that went over very well. Just another normal day, walking to school, nothing out of the ordinary, right? And then our Arcueid ambushes us like, "Hey, Shiki, we're ready to go vampire hunting again." Hisui saw me off, and I left the Tono residence. I'm curious about Akiha, who left the room in anger, but as long as the cause is Arcueid, we're going in circles, chasing and talking about it. I'm sorry, Akiha, but we have to stay like this until the case is solved. I don't know. Maybe. I hadn't thought of that, but I wonder if I could choose to be honest and tell them everything I've been through. Even if they don't believe us, we should let them know about the vampires now if it will help keep the city safe. I know, right? For example, spreading it as gossip on the internet, or... As I walked, I pulled out my mobile device. Is he actually going to spread it as gossip online? Hey guys, have you heard about the vampires terrorizing this town recently? Believe it or not, just post what you know on the board. It's up to the individual to decide how to take it. He's really doing this. He's really doing this. It would be counterproductive to tell people to believe, but if you just post the information, it may be spread as an urban legend with a warning. Hello? Hey, you there. He stopped when he was called. I turned around. Oh, this guy. It's Spike Spiegel. There was an unfamiliar man in a suit. You mean me? Yeah, you. You're the only other one walking down the street. That's true. This is the national highway in front of the Tono residence, and only cars pass by. The only people who travel on foot might be me and the servants of the Tono residence. So, you just came out of this house, didn't you? Are you the son of one of the servants who works inside? Then you're lucky, very lucky. Not for me, for you. Do you want some money? I'd like to know more about the Tono family. Is he really trying to bribe us? He's trying to bribe us for information? I tried to keep my distance. It wasn't because the man's flippant tone annoyed me. I was rather scared that he was too serious. I felt that he was serious about paying attention to our attitude in order to make sure that he didn't miss a single thing in his simple words. Oh, do they think I'm an onlooker? Well, I'm just an onlooker, but I'll get paid, okay? Yeah, sounds totally normal. What I want to know is about the eldest son who recently came back to Japan. I don't have any photo materials because he just came back. I want to know what he looks like, what his favorite food is, what type of girl he likes, and frankly, what he's weak against. Huh? A frivolous man holding his crotch and jumping up and down. Did Mario just kick him in the balls or something? What the fuck was that? A pot with a hole in the bottom. That's the one you're looking at, isn't it? Children? It seems that a boy of about 12 years old, perhaps hiding behind the man, kicked the man in the groin from behind. Wait, are you serious? It doesn't smell bourgeois at all, does it? What's that smell? Money doesn't smell like money, or is it the smell of dirt? Are you saying that rich people in Germany are covered in dirt? That's a pretty lame thing to say, isn't it? No. Just the rich. Just some of the rich. You know, like loan sharks who spend half their day counting their money. Is that my old man you're talking about? How dare you criticize your boss, Andor? What's this situation? Should I call the police anyway? Oh, there, don't call 110 without saying a word. I wonder why young people nowadays do so many useless things in a dry manner. Here. Huh? After typing 111, I looked away from my mobile device. The man is pointing at a black notebook. The death note? It was the first time I had seen a real one, but it was, without a doubt, a police identification card. The police book is... Are you a detective by chance? Maybe he's a private investigator. That's right, I'm not a suspicious person. I'm a detective, Yugo Ando, Investigation Division 1, Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. And yet, since yesterday, I've been turned away at the gate. I just wanted to talk to him, but he insisted on making an appointment. That's why I had no choice but to go on a stakeout on the national highway. Not many detectives are as suspicious as this one. However, whether that notebook is real or not, I'm curious as to why he was staking out the front of our house. I don't feel like it. I'll ask what you want. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to deal with them, ignore them. Maybe we should go with the first option. Let's explore. Let's just go along with it. As long as we don't know the purpose, we have no way to respond. I'll at least listen to you if that's okay with you. What can I do for you? Yes, it's about the fire of the North Station. See, the security company that was in charge of the scene that day and the next day is your subsidiary, right? They've already left, but I'd like to talk to the person who was in charge that day. Do you have a contact number? I don't know anything about that. So, I don't know. What, you're the eldest son and you don't know? That's a big deal. So the sister has more power than you. Why are you telling me this? I know it's ridiculous, but are you saying that the Tono group was negligent in causing that fire? Yeah, I don't have such a policy. It's a spontaneous combustion from my angle. The problem is something else. Well, I guess it's okay to tell people at home. I'm sure they already know. Yesterday, underneath the rubble of an underground cave-in, there was a rather unpleasant object that I didn't understand. The forensics team couldn't figure out what it was. That land belongs to Tono, right? According to the records, about 10 years ago, Makihiso Tono bought it at a higher price than the market. I'd like to hear about that situation. Why did they buy a prime piece of land in front of the station and then turn it into a park? I don't know. Makihisa is dead. Is that all you have to say? What? No, why don't you go talk to your sister? Didn't I tell you who I am and what I want? Unfortunately, my sister is a busy woman. Please leave us. If you want to talk, please do so only after the proper procedures have been followed. I turned on my heel and started down the hill. I know what you want. I can't get a grip on the situation, but I'm not going to let that shady detective meet Akiha. Hey! A high-toned voice stopped me. If it had belonged to Detective Ando, I would have ignored it, but the boy's voice was filled with a strange, irresistible dignity. It's fine to be a righteous man, but you have to know your place. If you want to die like a human being, this is the place to go. I stop and look at the boy. Did he just say human-like? What are you trying to say, boy? That's all I have to say, you idiot. If you don't listen to me now, you'll die on your own. I'm going home, Andor. It's time to eat. Let them eat cake, cheese, and honey, and everything. Yeah, as you wish. I wonder why I have to come to Japan to babysit you. The strange duo got into a parked car and drove off in the direction of the station. Regardless of their appearance, police personnel were watching our compound, and the accident site in front of the station was on land owned by the Tono family. No, it's just a coincidence. It has to be a coincidence. In the first place, that collapse was done without thinking by Arcueid, and the vampire incident has nothing to do with the land in front of the north exit station. I swallowed down my bad feeling. I pulled myself together and started down the long slope. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what kind of role Mario and, what's his name, Andor is going to play in this. It seems like they're suspicious of the Tono family, but I don't know. So far, they've only been like, kind of like background characters. Everyday life moves forward without a hitch. Fourth period, modern society. The teacher at the podium reads out in a bland, uninspiring teaching text. As I listened to it without a care in the world, I took advantage of the window seat and looked at my reflection in the window glass objectively. I can't get into it. It's not that I'm bored in class, it's just that I haven't been able to sort this situation out. A fire broke out in front of the station, killing many people. A city that has been invaded by vampires. Knowing this, I thought about myself as I took the class without a care in the world. Needless to say, I'm acting crazy. A person in this situation would either stay indoors or run away. And yet, here we are, keeping our lives as they have always been. As if to process that vampires or no vampires are just an anomaly, not something to abandon your daily life for. But, well, it's a real story. It's just that as a student, I can't neglect school. I remember the conversation I had with the man I met at the villa, Ryoto Saiki. I think it was Ryoto Saiki, or was it Ryoto Saiki? Saiki Gyojin? It translates it as Saiki Gyojin, but I think it was Ryoto Saiki or something. In the style of that man, study is an investment in the future. It would be a mistake to abandon the building of the future for the sake of a little safety in the present. In the first place, I'm living on the Tono family's money. If I'm going to live in that house, I have to fulfill my minimum obligations as a student. This is not a matter of duty, but obligation. A matter of decency. I don't know if I'm being sneaky or stubborn. Or is it just insensitivity? My teacher told me to be the person I thought was right. As long as I can rely on those words, I still have to cherish this everyday life. I squinted at the sunlight through the window glass. My fourth period class will be over in 20 minutes. Today's class is until fifth period. When school is over and night falls, I think about working with Arcueid again. The face reflected in the window glass had a happy smile on its mouth. Oh. I tightened my mouth. It's not like I enjoy roaming the streets at night with Arcueid, so what am I smiling about? Oh my god. I remember this scene. Totally. It's not even close to being able to concentrate in class. After all, how could I see a vision of her walking gracefully in the schoolyard that I could look down on through the glass? Oh my god. What the hell is going on? I leaned forward a little so as not to disrupt the class, or rather, so as not to be noticed by everyone in the classroom. Tanum, I hope you're looking at something wrong. Okay, it's not an illusion. It's not something that's floating around. It's reality, no matter how you try to fake it. Is it possible that it's always sunny in your brain, that vampire? What to do? What's going to happen? What will happen to Tonoshiki's school life if I leave it like this? Well, time to make another choice, I guess? No, calm down. It's still okay. It's not a problem. The other students hadn't noticed, and I couldn't hear any commotion from the next classroom. Fortunately, they seem to be in a position where they can only be seen from this classroom at the moment. You are a genuine, ruthless vandal. I hold my head and curse in my heart. But that doesn't solve anything. 20 minutes left until lunch break. If you leave that natural vampire alone, you have no idea what she'll do. Okay. I'm going to do my best. To intercept them, focus on the class, ignore them at all costs. We should probably intercept them. It is said that soldiers respect divine speed. The seeds of disaster should be nipped in the bud as soon as possible. The seeds of disaster. I think we should take the white woman out of the schoolyard anyway before she gets into any funny trouble. Teacher, I'm feeling anemic. I'm going to the infirmary. With a raised hand, I raised my hand and went down the hallway without a second glance. I can't afford to ask for permission. While everyone was dumbfounded, I escaped from the classroom at a fast pace. Man, he just like sprinted down the hall. Oh, here he comes. You're so energetic to come running with all your might like that, Shiki. I can't keep my mouth open. The target object had easily passed through the schoolyard and reached the courtyard. Good. I'm really glad I don't have a classroom facing the courtyard. But the school is small and simple, isn't it? From the outside, I thought it would be more solid and sturdy and spread out like an anthill. It is just a normal building, isn't it? Yeah, I like how it looks, but... What the hell? Hey, come here. Of course, there was no time for a leisurely greeting. Without question, he grabbed Arcueid's hand and started running. We moved to the back of the gym, where there are no people. It would be too conspicuous to leave from the main gate at this time. The best thing to do would be to leave through the back gate. Hey, what are you doing dragging me out here? This place is no fun at all. Arcueid is not happy about this, but schools are not particularly interesting buildings to begin with. What do you think you're doing? That's my line. Are you some kind of walking bomb? What is that face? What? I'm a walking bomb? Yes, you are. Still, that's an understatement. You know what? Why were you walking around in the daytime and coming to my school? You're weaker during the day, right? The wound hasn't healed yet, has it? I'm sure you'll be able to figure out what's going on. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, she turned into... She didn't really even turn into Neko Arc. She almost turned into Neko Arc, but not fully. She just had the cat ears. Shiki is going to help me, and I thought I'd find some clues during the day. I can't let Shiki waste his time like yesterday. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I said I'd help you, and I'll do any work with you, so just wait until nightfall. Do you enjoy making me worry? Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you understand, Arcueid? So I'm sorry for worrying you. I felt my heart skip a beat and thump higher than before. Arcueid's honest apology was unexpected, or rather disappointing. When you see her face like that, you can't say anything. I'm sorry. But it's Shiki's fault too. I've been watching you from below, but you haven't noticed me. I don't know how to get in, and I was about to run up to where Shiki was. Oh, that's why we should have intercepted her as soon as possible. No, wait, you mean run up to my classroom on the 3rd floor? Yeah, it's uneven. There's no trouble finding a foothold, and it's easy to jump right there. Oh god, she was gonna jump up to it. Jump up to the classroom. I take back my previous statement. This girl is still as insane as ever. Thank God for... If you had done that to me, I wouldn't have had time for class. I let out a sigh of relief. Ugh. I don't think many students noticed Arcueid enter the schoolyard either. Anyway, I hope you're sorry. So, what do you want with my school? You said you were looking for clues. What? It's just a survey. There's no sign of the dead, so we have to find clues with our feet. Thank you for your efforts. If it were nighttime, I'd have nothing to say about it. I'll be careful next time. And then, as I was walking around here, I smelled Shiki's scent, and I realized that this is the school that Shiki goes to. So you came into the schoolyard. I thought you were a cat, but you're just a dog. Excuse me, but I came here because I was sure of it. Compared to other places, there's no sign of the dead here. Wouldn't it be bad if we didn't actually see what it's like? What? No, it's not bad, right? Because if there's no sign of the dead, it means it doesn't matter. In fact, there are no incidents or accidents at the school, and at night, no one is there. If the dead were to attack humans, it would be on the streets, not in schools. Well, I guess you could say that. There's nothing unusual here. I don't know about vampires. I don't know if there are any vampires around, but I've got eyes for death too. Okay. If Shiki says so, then there might not be anything unusual here. Not may not, but is not actually. Arcueid kept an unconvinced look on her face. Oh no, it's lunchtime. No matter how unpopular the area behind the gymnasium was, some students would pass by at lunchtime. Anyway, if we stay here any longer, we'll make a scene. I'll keep my promise, so you'd better go home early and get some rest. You may meet the enemy again this evening. You sound like you want to get rid of me, Shiki. Do you really need to be at school that much? I don't mean to be annoying, but I have a lot of headaches. If you like, I'll show you around again when it's convenient for you, but for now, get the hell out of here. Shoo, he said, pushing Arcueid back. She does not look pleased. Arcueid said nothing in particular, but walked away with a look in her eyes that seemed to want to say something until the end. The tension dissipated and I could finally catch my breath. Now that it's lunchtime, we'll be nourished and ready for the afternoon. Oh. Now I heard a faint noise from behind the bicycle parking lot. Feigning a casual stroll, I walked to the shadows. As it turned out, there was no one at the dead end. It must have been a stray cat or something. It might have been CL spying on you. CL hasn't really shown up at all since the beginning of the game. That's pretty crazy. I was expecting to see her, but she really doesn't play much of a role at all in the Arcueid route, it seems. I'm sure she'll show up, eventually, but yeah, she's not as prevalent as she was in the original game, even in the Arcueid route. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's just because there's way more going on in the CL route, so CL's not as involved in this one, I guess. When I returned to the classroom after lunch, I found Arihiko there. He was not there in the morning, so it appeared that he had simply come for lunch. Good morning, Tono! The president's attendance is also very important. If the whole school had known about Arcueid, it would have been a row with this guy for sure. Yeah, as we might know. I think in the original game, actually, like, don't they all see Arcueid, or am I remembering wrong? I know in the anime they do. The anime that shall not be spoken of. I'm really glad that Arcueid left quietly. Gee, what's with those cold eyes? Can you please stop looking at people like, poor thing? But if they take out the autograph coupons, it's a CD that's going to sell for a 10 yen price. I really don't understand Arihiko's weird analogies. The poor translation makes it even worse. Well, I'm sorry. I've been in a bit of a tizzy and I was tired. So I couldn't hide my true feelings. I'll be careful next time. Really? But it's what you just said that should be hidden, right? But instead of going to his seat, he was gingerly looking at the doorway at the back of the classroom. He had finished his lunch and was seriously planning to make a ton of noise. I'm off to save the world for a bit with a bunch of friends over the net. Arihiko hurriedly left the classroom. So wait, what? What was he gonna go play, like a mobile game or something? Is that what he was talking about? On his back. Hey, you said before that the area in front of the north exit is dangerous, but where are the other dangerous places? Somehow, I posed that question to him. What's with the suddenness? There aren't many spots that are as bad as the north exit department store. If I had to guess, I'd say that one. It's the abandoned hospital in Kushizuka, isn't it? It was a meeting place for the motorcycle gangs until 2 years ago, but now no one cares about it anymore. Well, I guess that's where we're going next. Kushizuka is 2 steps away, but it's not surprising that an abandoned building is noisy. No one would normally follow it. No, so that's why, nobody's around anymore. One day, all the Yankees disappeared. Nearly 30 people have been reported missing and are still being sought. Well, this is a ghost story, not a violent incident like the one at the north exit. Nowadays, it's a place where even vagrants don't settle down, like a bad loan from the government. Yeah, it's exactly like a bad loan from the government. Seriously, these analogies are just confusing. The homeroom meeting to decide on the program for the upcoming school festival next month was unexpectedly difficult. Various opinions were exchanged, and as a result of the conflicting views of men and women, the decision was postponed until next week. No after-school club activities are allowed. All the students left the school quickly. Well, there was no point in dawdling in the classroom. Let's go and see if we can find the abandoned hospital. Wait, what was the other option? Yeah, I guess the abandoned hospital. I don't even know what the second option was, it didn't translate it. The hospital in Kushizuka, or... Although not inspired by Arcueid, it would be a waste of time to check out the disturbing places during the day. The 2 stations next to each other were probably unrelated, but we had some time before nightfall, so we decided to go there anyway. Oh boy, hopefully we don't find the vampire there. From the terminal at Kushizuka Station, I took a 20-minute bus ride. It took another 20 minutes to walk from the nearest bus stop. In the middle of a factory district far away from residential areas, what used to be a hospital was quietly exposing its corpse. Even from the main gate, you can see how large the inside is. It must have been a very big hospital before it was closed down. The peeling asphalt has been eroded by the grass. The ward in the distance was crumbling in many places. I wondered if that was a collapse caused by fire. The difference between the parts that are broken and the parts that are not is too drastic for that, though. The sky is high here. There are no tall buildings around, so the blue sky fills the entire view. Even though it was just before dusk, its cleanliness was so vivid that it hurt my eyes. I cut the barbed wire with a knife and went into the premises for a little while, but found nothing unusual. I even took off my glasses of my own volition, but I didn't see any disturbance in the lines like the dead ones. This place seems to be just another abandoned building that has been forgotten by everyone. It was a waste of time, but I guess that's what research is all about. I returned to the main gate to check the time of the next bus. There was a return bus in 10 minutes. If I run, I can make it just in time. I shrugged my shoulders and decided to run to the bus stop. So that was a waste of time. Fantastic. And then I came back to the Tono residence. I came back to the mansion. The sun hadn't set yet, and Akiha hadn't left yet. Akiha, I bet you're still mad at me from this morning. It was natural for Akiha to be upset with Tonoshiki's behavior. I haven't done a good job since I've been back. For the time being, I'm going to play the role of the sloppy older brother and be hated. Welcome back, Shiki-sama. I'm back, Hisui, and thank you for taking the time to welcome me. Has Akiha come back yet? Yes, sir. I've been told that you will be working late tonight, so I've asked that you finish dinner by yourself. I see. I would have liked to have at least talked to her about whatever topic she wanted to talk about, but alas. I think I'll just go back to my room and rest for the rest of the day. Shiki-sama? What, Hisui? Hisui glanced around the lobby and then approached me again. I'm sorry to ask this, but will you be going out again tonight, Shiki-sama? Hisui looked straight at me. I don't care if they see that I'm trying to slip out of the house. Because Hisui knows that I'm not in my room every night. It was natural to assume that I would slip out again tonight. The problem would be the intent of this question. As a servant, she wants to know what time I'll be back, but informing Hisui means letting Akiha know. This is not a question that should be casually addressed. Speak honestly, lie and deceive. I feel like we should be honest. Here. Let's be honest. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't hide it from Hisui and Kohaku, who are in charge of the house. Then I'll at least make sure to tell them I'll be away for the night. Oh, actually, I'm going to be out for the next few nights. But I swear I'm not playing a bad game. Akiha will hate me for it, but I can't stop in the middle. That's right. If there's an unidentifiable vampire and several humans are sacrificed, the only person who can stop this is Arcueid. As a person who lives in the city, I can't pretend that I didn't see it. I know this is going to cause trouble for Hisui, but I would appreciate it if you could overlook it for a while. I'll be back at midnight, so just leave the front door unlocked for me. You say you can't tell us why. Yes, I'm sorry, Hisui. I'm just being sloppy and I don't want you to ask me anything right now. No, you are my master. I have no servants who despise my master as slattern. With a blank expression, Hisui speaks plainly. After that, the conversation ceased. I bowed to Hisui and walked up the stairs to the lobby. Please wait. From behind me, Hisui stopped me with the calmest voice I've ever heard. Well, I'm sorry to bother you. Hisui cut off her words once, then clenched her hands together and looked at me. If you are willing, I can conceal that you are going out at night. Does that mean you're willing to talk back? Yes, after dinner, Akiha rarely leaves her room. My sister and I make the rounds before bedtime. So if you fail to report to us, no one will know what's going on in your room. No, that's great. That's helpful, but is that okay? Isn't Akiha the employer of both of you? I thought I told you that my master is Shiki. I'm not so sure myself. I told her to stop calling me master, and now I'm furiously thanking her. Hisui, in her own way, listened to my tenuous arguments and said she would help me. And she actually expressed some human emotion for once. Thank you, Hisui. That would be a great help. Then please use this key card from tonight. At Akiha's behest, I changed the password of the main gate of the mansion. With this card key, you can unlock the main gate even late at night. Wow, that Akiha, she's quick to respond. It was a close call. If I hadn't known I was going out, I might have ended up spending the night in front of the main gate on the way back. That's all I have to say. I won't stop you from going out at night, but please be careful and don't get hurt. Then, with a bow, Hisui left. Great. A helping hand came unexpectedly to my rescue. Now we can get out of the mansion without worrying about Akiha in the future. After a solitary dinner, I returned to my room. It was almost 10 o'clock in the evening. Okay, let's go. I tucked the knife into my pocket and left the room, making as little noise as possible. It's time. Vampire hunting time. It was probably due to the street crime. I hadn't passed anyone up to this point, and the park was completely empty. The silhouette of a white woman stands there, alone. Shiki! What's she so mad about? Was it because of what we did to her today, earlier today? But I don't know what happened. As soon as she saw my face, Arcueid yelled at me. Hey, what's up? Did I maybe get the time wrong, or what? Yeah, do you know what time it is? You're 10 minutes past your appointment time. 10 more minutes. It was just before 10 o'clock when we left the mansion, so even if we ran as fast as we could, we would not be able to arrive on time. Arcueid, on the other hand, seemed to have arrived right on time. Oh, I'm sorry. I was hoping to make it at 10, but it took me longer than I thought to sneak out. If you had a phone, I could have at least contacted her, but I felt that it was insane to communicate with a vampire via email. or what do they use in Japan? Line? No, it's nothing. I'll be punctual next time. You'll have to cut me some slack this time. Oh man, we're going to kill each other now, and you don't seem to be aware of it at all, do you? Arcueid was in such a bad mood that an onomatopoeic would be appropriate. Could it be that she was waiting for me before the appointed time? Yeah, she had like nothing better to do the whole day. She had nothing better to do the whole day, and she was just waiting in the park the whole time. Hey, Arcueid, how long have you been waiting here? Me? I came here as soon as I woke up, so, I got here around 7, I think. 7 o'clock? So you've been waiting for over 3 hours? No. What's the point of coming here 3 hours before the appointed time in the first place? Yes, there's something wrong with me. Well, at least she realizes it. Arcueid chuckled to herself, as if she was disgusted with herself. Well, it's my fault for being late, but you've got problems of your own too. I don't want you to come before the appointed time and wait on your own. It's a different matter. The fact that Shiki is late doesn't change that. I mean, he was only like 10 minutes late. Give him a break. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know why you waited for 3 hours. Even if you came by mistake, you could have gone back to your room for that long. I don't even know what that means. You could have gone back to your apartment and waited there? It's kind of fun, and I thought I could just wait for Shiki, and before I knew it, it was 10 o'clock. You had fun? Why? Come on, I told you I don't know either. I wonder if it's because Shiki killed me. It seems that some part of my body is broken and has not been healed. I think I'm crazy, but I can't figure out what's wrong with my body or why. This is getting questionable. When you say that, I have a hard time responding. After dismantling Arcueid 17 times, if someone says there's something wrong with my body, I have no choice but to apologize. Well, okay. We're running out of time, and we don't have time to waste talking. Oh, that's really nice of you to say. But if you're late again, I'll pick you up directly from your house. You're the one who can't keep a promise, so you have nothing to complain about, right? No. I'll keep my promise. I'll keep my promise, of course. But unforeseen circumstances can happen at any time, right? Being late is one of them. Why, don't you ever come to my house again by mistake. I'm still being misunderstood by Akiha, and she could seriously turn my room into a doghouse if she scratches me anymore. Akiha, you mean the sister who doesn't like Shiki at all? No resemblance is superfluous, but yes. I see. Are you that afraid of your sister, Shiki? You know what? Where in the world are you afraid of your sister? I almost said I have a brother and swallowed the words. I'm not afraid of her, but somehow I'm not very good with Akiha. It's because of her tsundere personality. I simply don't want my sister to have to worry about anything else. I've been bothered by that girl for a long time. I want her to stay like this as long as possible and not know anything about it. I see. You're kind to that little sister of yours, Shiki. Basically, I'm nice to everybody. Well, almost everybody. It's just that we've had one exception recently. It'd be funny if she was like, well, you did kill me, Shiki. That's me. You don't get it, do you? I was being sarcastic when I said that. It's not a compliment, it's a swear word. Is that so? But I'm an exception to Shiki, right? I'm not afraid of that kind of thing. Arcueid is still smiling. She had a carefree smile like a child. My body was strangely hot. It seems my body temperature has risen. I wonder why that could be. I exaggeratedly averted my gaze, because I felt that if I looked at that girl any longer, the poison would be drained out of me. Let's get down to business, Arcueid. You'll be looking for vampires just like you did yesterday. Oh, yes, of course. You don't have to take off your glasses tonight. Just follow me. Okay. Why are we doing that? I don't like where this is going. I stroll through the city at night. Man, these new tracks are just amazing. It really helps with the atmosphere. I mean, like, the original game had a great atmosphere too, but the problem is just how low budget the game was, how low budget it was, and, you know, you could tell. You could tell that it had a very low budget and that it just didn't have a very high production values. But that was fine because it still had a great story and great characters. But this just, what I like about this remake is just that now it's like the polar opposite. Like, Type Moon has such, like, it just has such high production value, it's insane. And just the music just helps so much more. Especially since this has even more tracks than the original, obviously, because the original had so many reused tracks. You know, it just had very few tracks it could use for the most part. I was told that Arcueid had a definite destination in mind, but without knowing the details, it was like the two of us strolling through the city at night. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to pinpoint it, the noisy one first. Saying this, Arcueid turned to walk into the downtown area in front of the station. A nightless castle that never sleeps past 10 o'clock. An exposition of civilization with a variety of sounds and lights. In a city where trends are changing in just a few months. A white vampire passes by, looking the same as it has for centuries. No, centuries is an exaggeration. I've heard that vampires are immortal and live a long life, so I just kind of thought of that word. Shiki, look at that building. It's 6 stories tall and narrow. Do you see any lines on the people going in? Normal. Dead people haven't come and gone. No luck. Let's move on. Put on your glasses. We have a long way to go, so don't be too hard on yourself. As she had said during the day, Arcueid had a good idea of where the dead were patrolling. In fact, there are 6. The first 2 locations were disappointing, but the third rental building was a hit. The security guards coming in and out of one of the vacant tenant rooms were a collection of death rays. Judging by the look on my face, Arcueid left me in the hallway, went into the room, and came out a minute later without incident. I'm sorry, this place is also a bust. It was a low-grade wraith. We hunted all over this area yesterday, so they were completely alerted. Arcueid shrugged her shoulders, a faint hint of disappointment in her eyes. What's with that smirk? Are you enjoying my failure? No. I was just thinking that even you, who was always so carefree, can let your guard down sometimes. What does that mean? I break and crush things as much as humans do. I wanted her to say I'm as troubled and sad as anyone else, but I kept my mouth shut, thinking that would be an absurd order for her. We sneak out of the rental building and go to the next destination. The time was about to be midnight. As expected, the number of pedestrians decreased and the neon lights diminished. The tail lights of a car flowing by. Arcueid steps to match the light. After the fifth hazing, we headed to our final destination. The destination seemed to be a residential area. Arcueid didn't speak, but I could somehow sense that this was the real deal tonight. But I knew that. It's still too early to tell. It's so prehistoric that we have to do research on our feet. It's always been a hassle to get rid of vampires. It's not going to be easy to find a coffin somewhere in the city. I don't mean that I don't like it. I just thought it would be a lot of work for Arcueid. It's not that hard for me, you know. It's a predetermined task, and if you follow the steps, it will be completed properly. I reply blankly, I see. When it comes to killing vampires, Arcueid is just plain rational. No matter how humble the task is, if it is a step that leads to the goal, she will surely and coldly build it up. Just because you can jump 10 meters in the air doesn't mean everything you do is crazy. When I think about it, it was the same when we first met. This girl was looking for a vampire to blend in with the crowd and not disrupt human society, even if she could do the same with Vlad if she wanted to. What's with staring people in the face? Keep your head on straight or you'll fall. Yes, this is a strange thing, isn't it? Hey, are you okay with being with me, Shiki? Aren't you afraid of killing vampires or something? Huh? I couldn't help but raise my voice in response to the sudden question. You don't mind being with Arcueid, do you? I don't need to think about that. I don't care. It's just a matter of preference whether you're okay or not. We're a partnership of mutual interest. I'm scared of vampires, but I'll put up with them for the good of the city. Arcueid agreed. The conversation was cut short there. We walked in silence down the sidewalk with no one passing us. We had come a long way from the station. For the past 2 hours, I had achieved almost nothing, but strangely enough, I didn't feel like I was working. It's not enough to solve the problem, but it's certainly preventing the situation from getting worse. I guess that's what makes me feel fulfilled. But it's nice to not have to worry about it. I was revealing my feelings, which I had never spoken about before. Shiki? So it's easy. I'm a bastard at heart. I'm a fundamental asshole, so it's nice to have someone as sturdy as you. It's a relief, deep down. My vision is broken. Tonoshiki's perception is tainted. You're not supposed to be here. I feel that the conclusions that I have known for 7 years will fade away in front of this girl. Hey. Does that mean I'm making it fun for you? The opposite. You know, you're with an old vampire. It's a disaster. The only thing that makes me feel better is that no matter how things turn out, they won't be any worse than they are now. What part of scary? There are so many. There's a lot of things you can do. The part where you can't get a fever of over 3,000 degrees Celsius, the gum tape, the running to the top of the building. You know, the part where they make the front of the station look shabby. Like the fact that you did everything you could to prevent a cold snap in Vlav. There's the part where she flips the bedrock, the part where she paints people's bodies with something she doesn't understand, and the part where she comes to school during the day. Yes, that's enough. I understand your feelings very well. Are you sure? We've still got a bit more to go. Okay, I'm aware. I'm a vampire after all. Arcueid picked up speed and continued to move ahead. Wait. If you get serious, I'll never catch up with you. I ran after the white back too. The sixth destination was already within a stone's throw. And of course, it's a back alley. It was the middle of a residential area. A very ordinary, nondescript 4-story apartment building. There are about 4 rooms per floor, and most of them are lit. The inhabitants are not asleep yet and are spending their time in their own way. Whether or not it's legitimate is something that others looking from the outside can't know. Uh-oh. Huh? I see the line. The weight on my brain makes me want to throw up. There's something wrong here. The lines that run through the building are very average, but there's something about them that gives them an odd cold feeling. It could be the whiteness of the light leaking from the room. It was the many lines of death that swirled around the body of the woman who had just returned to the apartment. Yeah, I knew it. Arcueid headed for the slope that led to the underground garage instead of the entrance to the apartment building. The entrance to the underground garage is shuttered. It's just an ordinary apartment, but is it here, Arcueid? Yeah, these shutters are warded to avoid people and eliminate odors. Is that a camera? Is it capturing my image? But the dead people inside don't have time to run anymore. If I had come here alone in the daytime, they would have escaped. Arcueid bends down and puts her hand on the edge of the shutter. I thought we were going to pull out at once. Shiki, can you get the shutter to work? That'll cut it, but is that okay? Yes, Shiki is a better choice than me. If you force it open, the alarm will go off, right? That's right. When it came time to execute, Arcueid was calm. Shiki was at the entrance to the garage. If this is a nest, there must be nearly a dozen immortals inside. If there is only one opponent, Shiki is stronger, but if there are more than 2, he will be at a disadvantage. I'm not really that good. Okay, I gotta go. Cut off the line of shutters. The iron door falls to the concrete floor with a crunch. Through the gaps in the cropped shutter, I peer into the blackness. What's that smell? A strange smell assaulted my nose. The garage was filled with the smell of steaming flesh and thick blood. Oh, Jesus Christ. A mass of lions groaning inside. They must have noticed us, the visitors, by cutting down the shutters. There were 22 of them. If there are this many dead, this must be the parents' stronghold. Arcueid, there are more of them than expected. This is where you're based, right? Then I guess I'll have to... What? This is not a castle, it's just a diner. Don't worry, an immortal who has just woken up is like a bug. Shiki, wait there, I'll take care of it right away. Okay. Oh God. Really? A series of unexpected scenes made it difficult for my conscious mind to respond in time. After being shown a grave filled with sludge. It was such a bad bite that it was like the start of a spectacular figure skating session. Countless dead people waking up and attacking the visitors. A single swing of the arm and the tear that ensues. Fangs swarming, dead flesh flying about. In the rain, a white shadow dances without getting a single piece wet. I hold my breath over and over again, even though I've seen it so many times already. That's right. There was no way those corpses were going to fight with her. Different performance, different perspectives, different dimensions of existence. This is what it means to be a warrior. For Arcueid, blood-sucking vampires are probably no different from us humans in terms of prey. Ugh. I get a headache. It's the price of having no eyes, but I can't wear glasses yet. Even though Arcueid is alone, there are still more than 10 bodies left. At that pace, I could wipe them out in less than a minute, but until Arcueid's fight is over, I'm also. You're acting strange. Arcueid's movements are becoming sluggish. That girl didn't get hurt. They didn't even let the dead near them in the first place. And yet... each time she tore apart the dead, one by one, her face seemed to twist in pain. Tyranny in the air. Before I knew it, there was only one death left. No need for excessive violence anymore. She can end it with a swing of her arm. And yet... the white shadow, perhaps seeing this as the last time, did not conserve its strength and crushed the human-shaped object. I actually thought Shiki might have helped her out. It's like Arcueid's too tired to handle all this. It's over. Arcueid slumps her shoulders in the center of the tragedy and regulates her erratic breathing. That idiot. I don't know what kind of change of heart you're having, but you're wasting too much power. She would have been able to get away with a lot less violence, at least a tenth of what she's doing now. Arcueid. I call out from the entrance of the garage. Oh, how's it going? Are you watching me, Shiki? It's the end of the night, and I'm in front of you, so I went harder than usual. You know, I've never heard such a disturbing, I'm so worked up. I sigh. Ugh. I hope you don't mind at all. I seriously don't know how to react if the reason for the extra outburst was simply because she wanted to show off to me. Well, it's true. I was a little taken aback, but what the fuck is that? What the hell is that? My buoyant mood is cut off. Sudden cessation of thought, blankness of consciousness. I couldn't believe my eyes, but there it was. How long has it been there? No, how long have I been overlooking this? A black panther appears in the back alley. Burning corpse. The dead who mimic humans. In the past few days, I've seen many anomalies. I've tasted a lot of the unexplained. But they've all been altered from reality. It was a modulation of a real thing. It's an extension of our common sense. That was different. The air is different. The species is different. The process of coming into existence is different. It was a different species that was not supposed to be in our city. It was humanoid in shape. It had the same scent as the dead. But they had abandoned their humanity, their Homo sapiens. I can't feel the breath of survival. I can't see any function that responds to light. Instincts tell us that they are just animals that prey on us. You say you've never seen anything like it, but I know something similar to it. It's a spider. Yeah, it looks like a human, like a spider head with a human body. My thoughts are still stuck. I can't remember how to use my throat. Oh, Jesus. The flesh of the abdomen unfolded like a receding wave. Oh my God. It seems that the bulging flesh was not belly fat, but something that had been firming up his arms. A creepy multi-armed creature that flexes like a mollusk. The tip of it. Okay, this is getting weird. Arcueid! I raise my voice. Sensing the abnormality, Arcueid turns around. The wielded tentacle extended and retracted like a whip and swung down on Arcueid's neck. It took a moment, but it was too late to catch Arcueid off guard. Arcueid's claws, which had torn through the dead like scraps of paper. This time, of course, that vile meat whip. But the whip of flesh would not be cut off by the claws of the vacuum. Although she was hit, his momentum did not slow down and he was able to bite into the white woman's back as if he was going around her. I heard a click and the sound of a trigger dropping in the back of my skull. A deformed dead man in hiding, that's how it happens. The hardness of the hidden outer skin, it happens. It's a different kind of ugliness than the dead people we just saw, it happens. It happens. On top of that, a second and third whip of flesh is unleashed, thinking it can kill Arcueid. It's not. Stupid. I'm an idiot. If I hadn't done what I did, if I hadn't wasted my time like that, I wouldn't be trailing behind that monster. I can't believe it. I have a new wound. I'm trapped against the wall in a heap. She's breathing hard. Her steps are sluggish. She's taking a blow that even I could get away with, and she's taking it in stride. Yeah. I'm sincerely glad I'm not wearing glasses. I might have smashed it in anger. The deformed dead jumped up in a flurry of activity. A lowly smile stretches across her cheeks as she looks at her prey, which she would never normally reach. Come on. Don't mess with me. You've got to be kidding me. Don't mess with me. That's mine. It's my responsibility. It's my role. The woman who told me that she would forgive me. This inhuman being. Even though I had killed her. Even though she had fallen to the ground because I had killed her. Even though she had been killed just for pleasure. And then... I'll kill you, you bastard! Don't lick it off with your inadequate meat. Ooh. Disconnect, simply without any twists or turns. Cut off each movement that is just animalistic. I'm running, aren't I? He's coming for us. It doesn't matter. There's no stagnation in my step. The second arm was brought out. It was a small fist that looked like a dot from the adversary's point of view, different from the large fist that he had just used. A jab, as in boxing, the smallest of actions, the fastest of muscle movements. The power is light, but the speed is too fast for human kinetic vision to follow, and the body cannot fully react. No problem at all. If humans can't dodge, we'll just let them dodge in front of us. Chasing a fleeing back, the red crazed death line. I don't need to think about it to break the effective line. The left leg of the one I was most wary of was on the verge of death. The only warning that remains is the bite, but already, this one is reaching. Pierce the point that sounds slightly above the right side of the dantian. I didn't hear any decapitated voices. The deformed dead stopped all movement and died, like a mechanical doll with its batteries drained. Well, at least Shiki did help out. Arcueid probably would have died if he didn't do anything, I'm guessing. After finishing the job, he was finally able to breathe again. Fragments of carrion scattered around. The dead I killed have already been reduced to ashes. Seeing that the dead that Arcueid had killed hadn't changed in any way, I wondered if that variant was special. Oh. But you killed it. He didn't hesitate, even if it was a different form, and he stopped breathing. Uh-oh. My brain is not thinking well. Now that was just violence. It was an emotional outburst that didn't include any part of the lessons my teacher had taught me. It was the act of a murderer that I had always feared would not happen. Regret, self-blame, hatred, disappointment, all of these emotions will surely come down on you when you calm down. It doesn't matter. It's much better than Arcueid getting hurt. I'm new at this. Without any hesitation, I used my power for the sake of a woman, without keeping my reason intact. Looking back, Arcueid's shoulders were shaking and her breathing was erratic. Are you alright, Arcueid? I ran up to Arcueid. She held her chest to endure the pain, huffing and puffing like it was the only thing she knew how to do. Idiot, you let your guard down. You're too careless. Are you okay? Did you open the wound on your body? Arcueid's back swayed. It's terrible. It's not unusual to see sweat floating all over your body. I bent down and looked at Arcueid's face, wondering if she had suffered a chest wound, and... Hey. Oh my god, Shiki, you're such an animal. Now that's awesome. I think that's a little too awesome. This is terrible. Arcueid didn't bend over because the wound hurt. She was holding her stomach to keep from laughing. You've been poisoned by human society, haven't you? I mean, you're right. I was stupid to worry. You're so sturdy. There's no way you'd be sore from that. Oh my god, the pain was real. If I'd been pushed just a little bit harder, someone would have cut my stomach open again. Ugh. It's not fair to say that. No matter what I say, it will be my responsibility, so I will have to shut up completely. Yes, I understand. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're okay, despite that stupid laugh you had earlier. I cut her off with a hint of sarcasm. As you can see, she has that mysterious grimace on her face again. What is it? Is there something more? Yeah, and I'm not crying falsely. I'm really happy. Because Shiki is so dependable. My cheeks are hot. I do my best to turn my face away from the surprise. What? What's wrong, Shiki? I'm fine. I'm just a little hot, you know. It was a deception without specifics. Anyway, I avert my gaze from Arcueid. I covered my face with my hands to hide the redness in my cheeks, but the act itself made me even hotter. So what's with that face? You should know what you're doing. It's not like she's a demoness. I'm not sure if I'm the one who's happy about that. Then let's calm down. I'll calm down and get over this unexpected fever. Okay, I'm calm. So what should we do now? You know, even if this isn't the enemy's headquarters, maybe we should go inside and look for clues, like... Well, maybe we can check it out before people get here. You won't find any clues to the coffin, but the location of the other diner. It didn't work at all. The palpitations in my chest did not stop at all. My face is hot. Maybe you should have put your glasses back on, Shiki. My head feels fuzzy, and Arcueid's voice is breezy. I also think that is not an option. If someone said something like that with a smile like that, anyone would fall in love with them. My head hurts so much, my limbs are so heavy, and it's all Arcueid's fault. Shiki? Hey, are you okay? Oh god. Well, guess he overdid it again. Heat. That dead guy was such a hard person to see. No, it wasn't, but... You're not close to anything, are you? I can't get my head around it. I'm conscious, but my thoughts are slow, and my body senses are very distant. Let's stop investigating here and take a break. He's not going to leave any clues anyway, so it's enough that we were able to destroy the cafeteria today. If they lose this many workers, they won't be able to operate for a while, and we'll have to come out here on our own. The arm that was grasped was pulled. I nodded vaguely at Arcueid's words and left the underground garage covered in dead flesh. I sit on the bench and rest my body. Also, if you guys are wondering what happened to the DeepL translator window, I could not get it to want to show up in this recording session. So I don't know. By the way, I don't do all of these in one sitting, so that's why I'm not able to. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to get it to work, to get it to show up in this recording session. So, unfortunately, I guess you guys are gonna have to just take my word for it. You guys are just gonna have to trust that what they're saying is what DeepL is showing. But of course, as you know, sometimes I don't always say exactly what DeepL is showing, and I kind of come up with my own interpretation of it. Feeling in my hands and feet recovered in about half an hour. I didn't realize it, but seeing the line of the deformed dead had taken a heavy toll on me. After you brought me here, just like that, you've been staring at me. Now that the dizziness is gone, you can stop making that face that says it's my fault. You had to do that in the first place, or else the wound would have opened. It's a figure of speech. I could have done anything with a variant like that. It's not about that. It's about your body. Do you remember what we talked about yesterday? You're talking about me using my eyes too much. I know, I don't want to be a cripple either. I'll be careful next time. That's a bit insensitive. It's going to be difficult to instill a sense of urgency in you. I'm used to death being the closest thing I have to a death, so it's not surprising. I really don't know what to do. Do you want me to scare you once and for all? I'm guessing she meant I'm used to being close to death. I don't know. I don't really know. Why is it that I can't seem to hold a grudge here? Well, maybe because you're in love with her. Someone. I need a clear explanation. I've had my fill of top-notch scares when you've been chasing me. I don't need to be told that these eyes are dangerous. After all, I've had them for 7 years. I didn't get dizzy the other day either. It was just... Now that I think about it, it's not that I was looking at the death ray too much. It's that I couldn't stop myself from saving Arcueid. Just what? I was just tired from all the walking, that's all. You may be fine, but people get tired when they've been walking for 2 hours. That's fine, but don't you sometimes think you're too objective? It's possible that your evil eye is making you hate yourself. No, if you could hate yourself, you wouldn't be bothered by your eyes. For the record, I've never looked at myself or anyone around me out of desperation. Oh, I see. That's a little surprising. I'm sure you do. This is a matter of pride, or rather, a matter of dependence. Someone told me that even though I'm like this, it means something. Until then, I don't want to abandon myself out of desperation. It's a small creed, but it's the kind of pride that has sustained me this far. Besides, my eyes aren't all that bad. There are a lot of inconveniences to having naked eyes, but it's a lot less work and a lot easier to diminish my appetite. I've always been a small eater, so I think it works well with me. I don't know what the connection between the reduced appetite caused by the evil eye and the digestive function you were born with. Oh, no, sorry. That was more of a joke, and I would be embarrassed if it was taken seriously. It seems like Arcueid just took it seriously. I'm serious. You said your eyes were acquired, but it could just be that they didn't show up until later. It just took a while to show up. Is that it? Yes, psychic powers are mutants, but even they need soil in which to be born. Even if I did not have ancestors with eyes like Shiki, I may have had parents with similar eyes. Mages transfer their knowledge in physical circuits to their children, but different abilities such as yours are often passed on only through crossbreeding genes and appear as a second-generation inheritance. Genes from crossbreeding? That is, from the father? I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about your whole clan. It's unnatural to think that you're the only one in your family who is special. Yeah, Arcueid is onto something there. If you have the ability, you should think that your entire family is special. Isn't that what Shiki's family is all about? That's ridiculous, I laughed. Genetic? Does Makihisa or Akiha also have these eyes? I can assure you that's not true. I'm the only one who's crazy in my house. If I hadn't had that accident in the first place, I wouldn't have this eye problem. This is not genetic, but an after effect of the accident, of course. But I'll take your advice. Thank you, Arcueid. What? What's with all the politeness? I think I've told you something you don't want to hear. It wasn't a bad thing. It was all out of concern for my health. You didn't want me to push myself too hard on the prep work at school today, did you? You have a hard time during the day, too. So thank you. I'm not in a position to thank you, though, as I've barely noticed you after all this. And then she transforms into a cat. But what about you, Arcueid? I hope that wound in your stomach is really closed. What? It's closed up fine. Why do you ask? No, you didn't look good earlier. I mean, you didn't do anything to me, but you seem to be in pain, or irritated, or... What the hell? Now, I felt a strange sensation in my chest. It's not painful, but more of an itchy feeling. I thought he was about to pass out. It's the anemia, it's back. Shiki? No. No. Without knowing why, I put my hand inside my shirt at my neck. It's very slippery. Uh-oh. Something. There is some kind of paint on my chest. Yeah, that's definitely paint. I don't know. It's kind of wet. I pulled my hand out of my shirt. In the palm of my open hand. The blood was bright red and sticky. Huh? Chiku. I get that funny feeling again. It took an awful long time to realize that it was from an old injury in my chest. Okay, I thought it was something that... Uh-oh. I thought it was an injury he just recently had. Shiki, it's... That's weird. It doesn't hurt. There's an open wound, and yet my chest is bleeding. How red. The water was clean, unclouded, and eye-catchingly red. Did the guy's fingernails just graze you? It doesn't hurt, and this is the only blood that seems to be seeping out, so don't worry about it. Arcueid looks at my hand in dismay. No, you're right. I'm staring at the red blood on my hand. Arcueid? Arcueid did not answer. It's just that her breathing is starting to get erratic. Yeah, I know where this is about to go. Hey, Arcueid. What's the matter? My wound is still sore. Oh god. I grab Arcueid by the shoulders. Bad idea. Then. She swatted my hand away as if to escape. Arcueid? Shiki? Short, a voice, even hostile, spoke my name uncertainly. No. I don't think that... Arcueid looked away awkwardly. What's wrong with you? You're acting weird. Isn't your body still recovering? Yeah, I think I pushed it a little too far. Yeah, of course, that's what it was. So I'm leaving. Oh yeah. Well, you said that's all for tonight anyway. Yeah, I'll see you here tomorrow. Oh, she left pretty quick. She even jumped into the air. There was no time to stop, no way to catch up. Arcueid jumped into the sky without looking me in the eye, just like a rabbit bouncing on the moon. Someone was attracted to the blood, I see. I climbed up the hill from the residential area and reached the perimeter of the mansion. The time was around 2 a.m. I'm getting sleepy. I wonder if she's okay like that. Arcueid's appearance as we parted was worrisome. I don't think that was a sore wound or a tiredness or anything like that. Huh? Oh god, I just noticed there's a shadow over there. I wonder what it is. Halfway between a street lamp and a street light, like something standing in the dark where no light can reach. Dokkan. The first thing that came to mind was fear, a sense of unreality that made my heart stop. But unfortunately, this liver is already resistant to them. The heartbeat resumed, and secretly, I tucked the dagger into my right hand. Oh boy. Dokkan. The sensation of doubling the speed of blood flow in the body, or an illusion. The thing was clearly human. It just doesn't look good. Its outline is just alien. It's getting closer and closer. Tap, tap, tap. I hear the sound of dry footsteps. The only bare eyeball stares at me with blood running through it. Jesus, what is that? Dreadful. Huh. I released the blade of the dagger. I put my hands on the vines of my glasses. There's a chill down my spine like 100 feet. A shadow enters the desperate distance with one more step. The streetlights went out with a bang. The moon was definitely out. The world suddenly turned dark. Dokkan. My heart leaps as if to announce my death. Bladed iron approaching the line of the upper arm of the left hand. It would be a while before his consciousness caught up with him. Before the blade that runs into the darkness can fully extend, the tip of the blade is flicked up from underneath and deflected to surpass it. The shadow's mouth twists. I recognize it as a laugh. But first, this weapon will be intercepted from every side. I'm surprised, but my thoughts are calm. Not even a second has passed since the moment I saw this figure. Stopped thinking. Frozen in time. Even the fact that I'm being attacked is not worthy of surprise right now. The two weapons sparked in the darkness. The unnatural darkness even hides each other. And yet, in the midst of it all, it just looks like a walking shadow. The connection of life shining clearly. That's right, Shiki, cut the lines. I cut away the knives as predicted. Surprisingly, it was my own body that was accurately stopping the weapon that was being wielded without a break in this darkness. Is it easy to read the opponent's behavior? There's that too. No, it's not. My arms are simply following the lines and dots that I can see with my naked eyes. That's all I can see, so I'm just swinging my dagger at it as fast as I can. Head. My head hurts. Glowing thoughts. My chest is slowly hurting. My head hurts. The old wound on my chest is hot. My eyes, they're spilling out of my eye sockets. But I remember. I'm pretty sure this happened to me a long time ago. That one, yes. The corpse of a child covered in blood. Akiha's crying face, covered in blood. My hands, covered in blood. The impact of metal biting metal. Instinct, which transcends reason, plays the blade. Watch out, I just lost consciousness for a moment. But I won't screw it up again. The reason is that you know where you're being targeted. As long as you know, your instincts will get the best of you before your reason. The reason I know this is simple. The part of my body that he was targeting was my lines. Therefore, I don't need to read where they are aiming. All I had to do was find the best line to aim at in this posture and at this distance, and I would be able to prevent it. And when I became aware of that fact as a strategy, I was finally able to. Do you see me? I realized that this something was seeing the same thing I was. Ku. A shadow laughs in the darkness. The bloodshot eyes sneered, so you finally noticed. The heart pumped blood higher than ever. I felt inexplicable elation and fear, and my mouth hung open. I see, so we're even. If I get cut, I'll die instantly too. I don't care. What does it matter now? I'll die no matter where they cut me. I wouldn't be alive right now if I had a back like that. Remember that cold wave? Vlav was amazing. This guy is nothing compared to that vampire. That's right. That even if you are Arcueid's goal. In these conditions, I'm definitely better than you. I'm on the offensive. I'm the one who's attacking you. And this guy is doing everything he can to respond. In other words, it's not that I'm preventing it, it's that this guy's preventing it. You can win. I don't know who this is, but I'm pretty sure it's him. No, now I'm the one who's pressuring them. I get goosebumps. I'm elated at the overwhelming advantage. I can win. I'm stronger than this guy. I'm stronger than him. If they try to kill you, you just kill them back. Bounce and fly the enemy's weapon. I take a step forward. I thrust my dagger like a fang to cut the line in the unprotected chest. Yeah, but it's natural. Why is there no stagnation in my hands as I wield the weapon in this situation? Oh, there's a black key. Huh? All the strengths returned. My incandescent thoughts switched to something more normal. There was no one in front of me. The figures that were killing each other earlier. He had been stabbed by a long, thin object and sent flying to the fence of the mansion. I can't grasp the situation at all. The figure that attacked me, is that a man? Was pierced through the body by what looked like a pipe that flew from the side. The impact must have sent him flying to the wall. If it were a human, it would be fatal. But no matter how you look at it, that man can't be human. Jammer! A hoarse voice. The man was skewered in the stomach and stared into the void as he gasped. I keep my distance and follow the man's gaze. There. Oh boy. There. Oh, it's not CL. Oh shit. It's Noel. A familiar figure was standing on a streetlight. Noel sensei? Dressed like a foreign priest. She carried a thin sword in her right hand. A huge spear held in her left hand, too out of place. I know that shape. No, a part of my brain remembers seeing it in my vision before. So I guess, was she the one helping us the whole time? It wasn't CL? What has CL been doing? She's been completely, absent from this game. He is aware of the fact, even if he is not conscious of it, that the sword that saved Shiki Tono from the ice mask during the battle with Vlav. Yeah, so it was her. So what the fuck has CL been doing then? Our gazes meet. The woman standing on top of the streetlight smiled at me, and the next moment, she held a thin sword in her hand and shot it at the black shadow. It's a cathedral. A light rose up with the words. Oh my god. The sound of reaping wind. She reholstered her massive spear. She had jumped from the top of a street lamp at the man. Oh my god. What is that thing? Is it a person or just a moving shadow? Like, what the hell is that? The man who was cut off shouts. The shadowy thing that had been clinging to me was swept away by Noelle's great spear. Like the deformed dead in the parking lot, the figure, shadow and all, melted away. Even in the midst of it all, the man was staring at me. Eyes that were bloodshot and had nothing but murderous intent. Black eyes like a murder weapon, as if cursing only Tonoshiki. I can't help but be stunned. The man died with the shadows that had been torn away. It disappeared from the world without a trace. Okay, what was that? At first I thought it might have been Roa coming after Shiki, but maybe it's a puppet of Roa. That's the only thing I can assume, is it's some kind of puppet he's manipulating. The sound of insects in the wind, the sounds of a decent night return. Even though there was such a horrible scream, the surrounding area was submerged in the darkness of the night as if nothing had happened. And there's a distinctly alien person standing in front of me. Good evening. I've heard that it's safe at night in this country, but it's dangerous around here. I was just taking a walk when I saw a vampire-like creature attacking one of my cute students. Or is it that your surroundings are special, Tonoshiki? A woman in a nun's uniform turns around. She smiles at me, not hiding her overflowing hatred, her clear intent to kill. No doubt. It was someone named Noelle who had been assigned to the school. Noelle-sensei, what are you doing here? I guess so. Teacher doesn't sound bad, but this is outside the school, right? It would be easier for both of us if we didn't have to be teachers. Well, Shiki's not a teacher, he's a student. A hard clunk sounded. Oh god, is she gonna kill us? Noelle advances to her feet. With a smile on her face and that vicious spear in her hand, she approaches me. Oh boy. Choice time, okay. Face them as enemies, prepare yourself with caution. I want to say number 2 is the better option here. Wow. Okay, I would be wrong. Face them as enemies. I seriously thought it would be number 2. Prepare yourself with caution. I don't know. Maybe I would have gotten a bad end there, but I'm just thinking like, okay, in a situation like this, we're not really sure what she's going to do. Like, you don't. It's a hard choice. Some of these choices are hard. It's like, what do you do? Like, should we fight them? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of default to maybe we should be more careful, but I guess we should treat her as an enemy. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. She is coming at us like she's about to attack. Relative as enemies. Without getting defensive, I greeted Noelle with my current posture. After all, the reach of that weapon is different. The moment we take a stand, Noelle will be happy to swing her spear at us. Oh, you're not going to run or brace? Yeah, I'm too scared to move. Yeah, that's what a beautiful boy in the humanities should be. Even though I do that every night with vampires, I'm so cute. Okay, I can't get a grasp of this character. She's so fucking weird. 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, 1 more step. I get the feeling she's not going to do anything. This is just going to be like a joke. The weapon here is short and powerless. I can't afford it. There's room for a woman. I'm sure you've only dealt with people who have no resistance. Oh god, okay, she's actually going to kill us. Like this. Could have easily imagined an attack that would have knocked my right arm off my side. A lump of steel passing just above my head. Oh, I fell down. I fall forward to the ground to dodge and nod 80 centimeters above the ground. My entire body falls toward the ground, and before I touch the ground, I regain my stance and carry my body in front of the woman. No! I put my left hand around the woman's waist, close together like a ballroom dance. What are we doing here? The right hand holding the knife is around the back of the woman's neck. I'm going to kill it in one breath. just before that, a thought entered my mind that I should think about whose enemy this woman was. Well, I don't know, she just tried to kill us. Don't lick this! Okay, I don't know what she was trying to say with that. The woman let go of the spear and grabbed my right hand, which was around the back of her neck, and paid my leg off at the same time. In judo, it's called the Osoto Gari. Ugh! I'm knocked to the ground from behind. It's not the same as the fall I just saw. Even if you just fall to the ground, a human body can easily be destroyed when dropped to the ground with solid arm strength. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. It was an imitation of that guy, but it was really cool. Is she taking this seriously? Noelle picks up the spear, inspiring herself. She then coughed deliberately and stomped on my chest with her boot as I fell to the ground on my back. Well, that was a good one for a fluke. It wasn't cool that I fell while trying to escape, though. Noelle smiles triumphantly and puts her strength into her boots. It's not quite tight, but it seems that her hostility and desire to kill me is real. Could it be that you are a vampire too? I'll check it out just to be sure. I'm 5 seconds away from being trampled and I can't afford it. I'm not even serious about the question. What? You're a kid and you're trying to get me to do something? You're so naive and I hate you, sensei. Ugh. She stepped in with an exaggerated motion, but it was only flashy and the pressure on my chest was not strong. My current reaction, I knew this woman was human. She hates the fact that she was treated like a vampire. Be that as it may, how about returning to the teacher for convenience? No lipstick on the neck, no rejection of the holy water soaked into my shoes, and, by the way, no change in my favorite fanny face either. Yes, heresy screening is over. Can you stand up, Tonoshiki? Wait, are you telling me this was just a test? She was trying to see if we were a vampire? The foot placed on my chest moved away. I broke free and stood up, catching my breath. By the way, my body hurts like hell, but it's only minor internal bleeding. Here you go, glasses. Be careful not to drop anything, okay? I see, it was dropped by your side. I'm surprised those glasses haven't been broken at this point. I took the glasses from Noelle and put them back on. If those glasses break, Shiki's life is literally over. Well, what's the situation here? That's what I want to know. Well, there are many dangers when a beautiful boy goes out alone like this. I tried to scare him with some advice, but he almost ate it. She smiled shyly and said, Shy. I could only be stunned. Huh? What's with that no reaction? Didn't that vampire tell you about us? You're not listening, are you? Oh yeah, you don't care about small fry like me, but I don't want to be talked about either. Okay, I'll give you a quick lecture. To put it simply, I'm the righteous sister who protects the city. Something like that. Wouldn't it be cool to have a shadowy organization that protects human society from those damn vampires? Noelle says with a chuckle, wondering how serious she really is. Regardless of her explanation, I had an idea about the matter. Are you an agent of the church? Yes, that's right. You are an atheist, right? So you may not feel it, but we, the church, are willing to protect the good life of man in the name of the Lord, even if it's in this land of the end times. One day, a beautiful and seductive teacher suddenly transfers to the school, but in reality, she is a righteous exorcist sent by the church. Oh, it almost sounds like the plot to some kind of an anime or something. Exorcist. I think you mean exorcism, right? Aside from the fact that vampires are demons, I don't think there's any lie in her words so far. I understand. I can't believe it came out of nowhere, but I believe it. It's the second time I've done this anyway. Thank you for saving me from a dangerous situation. Second? Oh, that's what you mean. But it's different this time. I didn't just stumble upon you by accident. I've been after you from the start. Yeah, I can believe that. You've been after me all along? Yeah, I've been following you since you left the house. My job is to eradicate vampires. If there are people following that vampire, it's only natural to monitor them, right? Oh, she's talking about getting rid of Arcueid. Her point is certainly a natural consequence. But the premise is wrong. I'm not following Arcueid, and she's a good vampire to begin with, even though she's chasing vampires to protect the city, just like her. That's... If it were true, I would have killed the vampire first, but I was dealing with that monster, right? I can't fight back on my own, and my master has been sent away by his boss. We had no choice but to set our nets on the smaller ones. By small prey, do you mean me? Yes, if that monster is a mad dog, then Shiki is a plump shrimp. Whether you're a vampire or us, you're sure to be a delicious prey. But there was something wrong with him. I've been watching you for the past few days, and I don't get the feeling that you're being forced to obey me, or that you're being bled dry. Hey Shiki-kun, why are you with that monster? I furrowed my brow and swallowed the words. It wasn't that I was pressured by Noelle's question, but the very fact that I was being asked such a question annoyed me. Oh, shut up. You want to be one of the vampires? I know it's a cliche, but do you want eternal life? Huh? Eternal life, they say, and my eyes light up. I hadn't thought of the idea, or, well, it's more natural to think that way. No, but... This is not the case with Arcueid. In the first place, she doesn't suck blood. There's no way to recruit her to make friends or give her more power than a human. No? Then why? It's obvious. I'm just trying to help hunt down vampires for the city I live in. This time, I didn't brace myself and confronted her with just my gaze. I don't want to fight with this person. Still, I don't want to be told what to do with me and Arcueid. If you had been bitten, I'd have chopped you limb from limb with that crap and left you for dead. Unfortunately, you can't touch a mere mortal. Yeah, I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Noelle turns her back and walks away. She was unconvinced, but she seemed less hostile. Or maybe, I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. Oh, but be warned. I said I had you in my sights from the start. I meant something deeper than that. The mortals that have nested in this city have been taking root for more than a few years now. My master says that they didn't just come here yesterday like the true ancestors. Not all vampires come from the outside. Many of them are very close to home and have been hiding out for decades. They are often hiding in the homes of the most powerful people in the city. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. There's so many, like, implications here that, you know, hey, there's something going on in the Toto house, you know. There's so many implications of that. I can't, you know, it's like, it couldn't be more obvious that that's what they're trying to get at here. You know what? They said something about protecting their city. I don't mean to be vague, but you need to protect yourself. What does that mean? Isn't that right? The immortal that just came at you, not the true ancestor who goes around killing vampires, but you, a mere human. I'll see you again, Tonoshiki-kun. Then the woman in the nun's uniform walked away. As she left, she cast her gaze over the lamppost. Okay, let's jump home in style. Oh, but I can't. I can't jump that high without a runner. I wouldn't be human if I could. She walked down the slope with a large spear in her hand, showing a hint of what she was going to do. That's the one that seems like a great person. I muttered to myself in a venomous tone. I guess he's being sarcastic. As if that wasn't enough, I lost the strength in my knees and leaned back against the wall with a thump. But I'm the one who is targeted by it. As long as I'm cooperating with Arcueid, we will eventually be in danger of that. But that's not it. I don't know why, but I feel differently about that reason. Ugh. The dizziness returned as I was relieved of my tension. Leaning against the wall, I started walking towards the main gate. My chest hurts. While I'm still conscious, I'll manage to get back to my room before my body collapses from my legs. You can think about the hard stuff afterwards. But the main gate was farther away than I expected. The headache faded, and I felt a sense of comfort. The horror of my whole body was going into relaxation. With my back against the wall, I stared at myself as I drifted off to sleep. Wow, he fell asleep in front of his house. Oh no. Oh no. It's the Black Panther.